Welcome back to my channel, Hidden Points. Today, we re-diving into the psychology of preparing for 2026. The people who are already thinking about next year aren't preparing for danger. They're preparing for clarity, control, and understanding. Imagine a young man named Jordan. He's always lived with a deep sense that life can shift suddenly. When the world feels unpredictable, he feels a powerful need to organize, plan, and anticipate. In his mind, preparation isn't about fear, it's about protection. Jordan spends hours reading, making goals, structuring his days, and mapping out his future. This planning gives him the emotional stability he never felt in his childhood. Now, imagine a woman named Claire. She lived through years of chaos in her family and learned early on that when life feels uncertain, the mind desperately searches for anchors. As she looks toward 2026, she feels the need to rebuild parts of herself that were ignored for too long. She sets new routines, personal goals, and emotional boundaries because she refuses to walk into another year feeling powerless. Psychologists explain that preparing for the future is deeply connected to our brain's need for predictability. The human mind is wired to avoid uncertainty. Research shows that when people set goals and create structure, the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for planning and decision-making, increases its activity. This brings a tangible sense of order and calm. Neuroscientists say that our minds feel safer when we can imagine and map out the future, even if those plans change later. Just the act of imagining control creates real emotional relief. For people like Jordan and Claire, preparing for 2026 becomes a way to rewrite old fears and give themselves the stability they once lacked. Social psychologists have found that people who plan ahead are often motivated not by fear, but by identity. Preparation becomes a statement of who they want to become. Cognitive scientists call this future-oriented thinking, and it's a powerful skill that helps people maintain emotional resilience during uncertain times. Here's the dramatic part. Many people think preparation is about external events, a new job, a move, a global crisis. But in reality, it's an internal battle between who you were and who you want to be. The people preparing for 2026 are often rebuilding their confidence, healing old wounds, and creating mental structures that will help them walk into the next chapter with strength. Therapists explain that this kind of preparation works because it shifts the nervous system from being reactive to being proactive. It moves you from a state of constantly putting out fires to a state of calm, intentional action. This creates a profound sense of power and direction. Researchers have also found that when people write down their intentions and create healthy routines, the brain releases neurotransmitters like dopamine, which boosts motivation and reduces stress. This is why planning can feel so energizing and grounding at the same time. Think about Jordan, filling notebooks with goals, not because he fears disaster, but because he fears wasting his potential. Or Claire, waking up early every day to work on her mindset, not because she's afraid of what might happen, but because she refuses to repeat the emotional patterns of her past. This is the truth behind preparation. Preparing for 2026 is really about preparing your inner world. Psychologists say that people who prepare for new chapters are often the ones actively reshaping their identity. They are consciously choosing who they want to be. This matters because the human brain thrives on direction and breaks down under aimlessness. When you set emotional goals, remove toxic habits, or build better routines, you are literally rewiring your neural pathways and creating a new internal landscape. Preparing for 2026 becomes an act of self-definition, of courage, and of transformation. When Jordan realizes that his preparation is making him feel confident instead of anxious, he begins to trust himself more deeply. When Claire understands that her routines are giving her peace, she sees that she isn't preparing for fear. She's preparing for growth. The psychology of preparing for 2026 is ultimately about taking ownership of your life. It's about turning uncertainty into an opportunity and reshaping yourself before the world reshapes you. When we understand this, we realize that the people preparing for 2026 aren't just looking for safety. They're looking for direction, identity, power, and the emotional freedom that comes from choosing their own path. This is why preparation becomes the first step toward becoming the person you were always meant to be. Thanks for watching. If this resonated with you, let me know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more insights into the human mind. See you next time.